Hello and welcome to NDTV. I'm Rohit, Khilnani. Richa, Mrunal, welcome to NDTV.
Thank you.
It's great to interview two women on such an important subject. Firstly, tell me, how close is this subject to your heart? Not just the film overall, larger picture.
So when I started the audition process, I barely knew what sex trafficking or human trafficking was until after 2 rounds, 3 rounds. I went back home and I Googled, and in the news column I see there's news every 5 minutes, 7 minutes, but not only in India, but around the globe. And that's what drove me towards this character. And I was like, yes, Mrunal, this is it. You have to do this. The journey has been impeccable because working with the best talent on this planet, I think I've done something really great in the past.
Richa, you have done hard-hitting roles, you've done important roles. Again, the same question, how important is this subject so that the word goes out, awareness goes out?
Every film is important, every subject is important. We're touching on things, especially when we do films like this. This one is also, but it's more the impact of the film on me after than through the filming process. The impact of the film on me after was that I realized that I need to do far more than I am. I understood my privilege. You and I collaborate on several animal charities and things like that. But I really consciously decided to do much more charity work and in this area also, in the area of sex trafficking. I worked with Shakti Vahini and Save the Children, Purnata and Keto, and that was the impact of the film on me. And I think that's really a gift, to be able to, from a place of gratitude, really see that, this is a country where females are not even allowed to be born, and then you come to a point where you are in a position to have a voice and you understand privilege, so it's really time to give back.
That's such a good thing if that happens through a film. You said in one of your interviews that actors are privileged. How do you want to take this ahead, now that you have this role, people listen to you?
Oh my God, it's a wonderful feeling, first of all, because I remember after one of our screening in London Indian Film Festival, a man walks up to me and a very close friend of our friend, and he was like, Mrunal, I was on the verge of adopting a child, and we're going to make sure we adopt a girl, a survivor, and we're going to give her a new name, a new family, and a new future. That's itself was that was an achievement for me. And the fact that, it's very important for us to understand the fact that we are blessed. We still crib about the fact that, hey, gosh, I wish I had that, but the moment you step out of that bubble that you're living in, you get to know what reality is. And through this film, I want people to know what exactly it is. When you come to, metropolitan cities or especially for the girls, they need to be aware that what are the steps that they need to take or how alert they need to be. As an actor, when I went through Sonia's journey process, I have realized the fact that if I'm not going to stand for myself, nobody is. Nobody will. And people say that, hey, how old are you, 30? And I'm like, no, but I behave like, because maturity is because I've gone through this process, which is impeccable journey so far.
Great. Richa, what does this film emotionally does to you? When you do a film like that, you read case studies, you go into details, what does it do to you emotionally?
I mean, in this case, I met a lot of girls for research purposes. I met them, some of them prior to filming, some of them during the filming. And I mean, you kind of are shook from the impact of it. You reel from it a little bit because you see that human beings are doing this to other human beings. But I think one of the big things here, I think, is not to judge. Because you don't know that, you hear of stories where girls have been sold off by relatives, their extended family, their own families. And you learn not to judge because you realize that it's really death or survival, and one picks. It's a really hard choice to make, even for a mother or a father. But so I learned not to judge, but I think emotionally the filming was fun because Tabrez is a really fun person. As hard as he works, he parties even harder. Amazing. And he makes sure everybody has that glass of wine, and there's something he insists upon. Mrunal will tell you. It's a fun group otherwise. But I remember having nightmares from after we finished filming for a while. It was kind of... When you see the film, you're watching it soon. When you see the film, you'll realize like
What
what my
exactly?
character also, the kind of graph she has
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what she does. I mean, you know, otherwise, typically journalists, I mean, not you, would even ask that why would you choose to be a part of this film? You're not in the lead role. It's not a titular role.
What do you say to that?
We just say to that it's like she said, ignorance is the root cause of all things.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
what do you
that's
do
true.
to? I mean,
Yeah. No, these are all, I mean, who have, all you guys, these are great roles, and this is such amazing casting. You know, tell me, apart from the glass of wine that you all enjoyed on the set, emotionally, what did this do to you?
So, well, when we started, the best thing was we went in chronological order.
Okay.
There was no scene which was like later and then we shooting that first.
Okay,
So Tabrez made sure that that graph is maintained. The best thing about the crew, I'll tell you, including Rasul Pokoti who did the sound, to, you know, Lukash who's our DOP, they understood the intensity and the kind of, you know, efforts that were taken for that particular scene. They used to make sure the moment the director says cut, they all would be laughing to take me out of it. So this was the kind of sensitivity that was on set. We would be joking around. I would be playing pranks on set, you know, like doing crazy stuff. So it's very important for crew also. You know, they always balance that.
Is this a story of also a hero who comes out of it, gets a sister out of it? Is it a story of her struggle and also the fact that she's a hero, right?
Sonia is a Wonder Woman with no powers.
Right.
So you can put it that way.
Right. For you, Richa, is this a story of a struggle and also someone who is a hero in her own way?
yeah, it's a hero's journey, definitely, and all of us are supporting and sort of embellishing it because it's not possible without
Right.
you know, the benefit of all these characters, sometimes black, sometimes gray, and a few saviors thrown in. When you see the film, you'll know very few saviors thrown in.
Yeah.
It's an optimistic take on an otherwise grim situation, but it is an optimistic take. So
Right.
she represents the 1% that do manage to survive,
Right.
and
Okay,
those are the
okay.
statistics. So, like, for everybody who's telling us that it's dark, it's grim, but those are the statistics.
Right.
It's the 1% that is the survival rate.
You know, the fact that red light area exists, the fact that this is so open and rampant, that's, you know, do you think there's a way to get out of this someday in the future, sometime?
I really don't know if we can
eradicate it.
I don't think we can eradicate prostitution. It's said to be the oldest trade in the world. I honestly am not equipped to say that we should legalize it, because for that we need to maybe speak to people who are working actively
They
with
should
commercial
decide.
sex
Yeah.
workers and figure out
How?
if legalizing it will cause more exploitation of children and
Then
save
there's
the
no
people
point.
who are like the pimps and the middlemen, or will it help protect the rights of people who are already in the trade, like, you know, like in Bangkok and some such, or but definitely the impact of this on children.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm saying it like the fact that a woman is playing this girl, this 17-year-old's role really softens the blow, because the real story actually occurs when these girls are maybe 13 or 14, and here to make it palatable, to make it sort of easier
Like
to
17.
she's playing 17, somewhat like on the verge of adulthood.
Meaning the girls who doesn't even know what the word sex stands for.
You know, it's sad that men are the ones who will call someone a prostitute, and they are the ones actually going there for doing the trade.
Yeah.
What should be done?
So this is what it is. Men
This
are
is
the
what it
ones that are the pimps. Men
Yeah.
are the ones who are the traffickers. Men
Yeah.
are the ones who are selling their relatives. Men are the ones who are enjoying the benefits of this prostitution. Men are the ones who are paying for virginity. So really, men, it's not us. That's the
not
problem.
at all. The thing is, tell me, coming to your film, it's got such amazing reviews from festival. Is that the first sign that, okay, we have got this right?
Well, I'm very proud of Tabrez because it takes a lot of guts to make a film like this.
Absolutely,
Especially
yeah.
when it's his first.
First.
And he's invested more than like around 13 to 15 years of
Yeah,
his
yeah.
life. If you see Rajkumar's character, that is actually inspired by Tabrez. He used to make sure that he visits brothels and he finds out if there is any girl who needs help. So for people, they took a little bit time to digest the fact that this is what the reality is. And I remember people bought popcorns to, you know, eat in between the films. And one of the girls, she came to me and she's like, "Hey, Mrunal, you know what? I forgot that I had popcorn. I was so connected, and I could relate to the film." So my journey, my intention, or my mission being an actor on this particular project was accomplished when people came up to me and said that, "Mrunal, I could connect to Sonia's journey."
Right.
So that was the moment I was like, yes, it is working.
Wow. Richa, you went for the festivals. What was the reaction? What did people tell you?
I think more than the reviews, which tend to look at it cinematically, you know, they're studying it in a very craft kind of way.
Right.
I don't typically read reviews.
Yeah. Generally, what did people tell you? Yeah, what did
no,
people
it's
tell
not
you?
that. It's just the response of the audience, the women in the audience, the silence after the film was over, the acknowledgement of this reality. For people who work in this field, they keep saying it's a version of modern day slavery. Now, we're not making like a film where we're like, oh, you gotta come watch this film because it's so hard hitting, it's so depressing. It's not that. You have to watch it because it's literally a hero's journey to save someone dear to them.
Great to see this kind of respect, this kind of equation, and y'all have done a film that's made so many people proud. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for making all of us proud.
Thank you so much.
Rohit.
Thank
We
you.
await your response.
Tabrez, Freida, welcome to NDTV.
Yes.
Guys, y'all collaborate for the second time. One question to both of you. Freida, how has he changed since the time you met him first? And you tell me about her.
Right after Slumdog had happened, was filmed.
Okay.
While we were still filming, in fact, at the train station, Tabrez took me aside and he said, "You know, your life is completely going to change." And I had no idea what he was talking about because I had not even finished completely filming. We had not even filmed, and it was my first film. I don't know how someone's life changes by doing a film because I've never done it before. And somehow Tabrez had the foresight, you know, that this film was going to give me the start of a wonderful career that I least expected.
True.
So similarly, when Love Sonia happened, and it's true because you know what he predicted did come true, and my life did change, and I got to work with the best filmmakers ever. And then 10, 11 years later, this man makes the one film that he was talking about since 2007, 2008 to me. And right after he finished filming and I watched the film for the first time, I said it back to him. I said, "Your life is about to change."
Nice,
and this film hasn't been easy for us to put out there into this world.
Right.
Certainly hasn't been easy for Tabrez. You know, he's been trying to make it for 15 years, but it's a passion project, and I know I can see it in his eyes, in the way he's directed it, and the way the film's turned out, that it comes from a very true place in his heart. So.
Okay, when you walk up to Freida and tell her your life is going to change, what was the confidence? Was it in the film, the script, her performance, the way she was doing it?
I think it was the film. It was about the film that she was doing. You could see that she had a spark. You know, it was actually the last. We had just finished shooting the dance sequence on the railway station. It's 4 in the morning. We're walking back. Everyone's happy. Danny's happy. You could tell that something special was going to happen. Now, I did not think that it was going to be what it actually was. I just knew that things were going to change. So it went obviously way beyond that. But it was a mixture of obviously who was involved, the way that Freida embraced it. You actually wouldn't know. Yes, you know, she was, you know, she would talk about it. She hadn't done a film before, but when the camera was rolling, it really wasn't like it was her first film. And that goes. It's the same with what's happening with Mrunal right now.
Yeah. Right. Tabrez, what was it about this story that you wanted to direct this? Because it took very long, and but you still stuck to it and said, "This is what I will make."
You know, everyone says that your first film you need to feel passionately about, and it can't just be a script that you're given and you decide to make it. Every director has their own journey, and for Love Sonia, I was involved with the girls who've been through this from 2004 was when the first script was written.
Wow.
2005 was when I met the first girl who was trafficked. So it's been a long journey, and I was involved in it after meeting the girls, seeing what happens to them, seeing what happens on the other side, the NGOs, the work that they do. And at the end of the day, it's a movie about a hero, about courage and hope. So I was just very close to the subject, and I knew that it needed to be my first film.
Yeah. Is this a conviction that every actor wants to see in a director? That for years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I could ever work with a director who did not know his own vision, you know, who had no idea of what he wanted to create in the first place, you know. And that would make me very nervous because I'm an director's actor.
Right.
So I completely surrender myself to whatever the director has to give me in terms of notes, in terms of, obviously I'll do my prep and my research, and I'll work hard on, you know, bringing my character to life. But then when I come to set, I do surrender to, you know, whatever's out there in terms of the team that is out there as well. I do surrender to, actually, it's very important for me, equally important for me, that my co-stars are just as collaborative and giving. And in this case, I feel like right from Mrunal to Richa to Manoj, it's just been phenomenal, the people that I have worked with.
It is. We saw your Instagram story where you put up the clothes that you were wearing on the set. Tell me, what was that experience like, going there, meeting them?
So I did not go there to pick up the clothes, but Tabrez had instructed our costume designer, Shahid, very, very specifically that none of her clothes should be not authentic. It has to be from the stores that it'll
where they buy from.
Where they buy it from, including, and I posted on my Instagram as well, including my bra, like down to like my undergarments. It had to be very, very authentic. And imagine like your state of mind. You know, you come to set dressed in your jeans and whatever. You go to your trailer, you get dressed in your character's clothes, and immediately you're like, this is, you know, my soul has just gone to the side, and it's, you know, Rashmi who has completely taken over. It was I don't know, like an out-of-body experience every day on set. Like, I can't wait for people to watch the film, but as soon as I had to take on this new voice and this new language and this new dialect, which I don't speak in on a daily basis, I just forgot who I was, and I was completely immersed. Sometimes to Mrunal's detriment.
Right. It's a great lineup on the poster. When we see the poster, we're like, wow, all these guys coming together. What was the plan initially to get each one, or how did it work out? Was it, you got exactly who you wanted?
Yes. I mean, we knew that Freida was going to be in it. So we had Freida, and that made a lot of things easier, especially getting the money to do the movie. But we knew that Sonia needed to be someone who no one had seen before. So it was a long casting process, and after we got her and Richa Chadha, who plays her sister, who are both fantastic. In terms of everyone else, everyone had just told me that these actors are too big and you can't get them because we don't have the money and they don't do movies like this. But we just went after whoever we wanted, who the best actors were, because that's what my producer encouraged me. So first Richa, then Manoj. We had to chase them both a little bit. But again, once they read the script and we met, they were on board. So the truth is, we didn't expect this to work out. And then when it came time for Manish, and I had seen City Lights, so I wanted Raj, and he was so gracious. He was fantastic. He immediately came on board. Sai Tamankar, who plays Anjali. So we were very lucky. Adil, who was obviously in Life of Pi, he plays the father, and then Anupam and I are old friends. So it all came together beautifully.
It does not feel like I'm watching a film. It kind of feels like I'm in some kind of virtual reality where I'm actually watching this, what is actually happening in the world realistically in front of me. And that really does take, you know, it chokes you. It does. It reminds you that, hey, you know what? You live in a bubble. People around you are all living in a bubble, but that reality is not completely known to every human on earth. He or she knows, and in this case, he knows, that in order to make your audience feel that they were part of a journey, that was a complete journey, where they feel that this journey continues, but it can only continue if you feel motivated in your heart to want to do something about it. You cannot end the film on a note that is depressing. It's just like kind of a great narrative on the human spirit.
Right, it is. She's a hero, right?
Absolutely,
she's a survivor.
I mean, talking about Freida's character, she mentioned the various things that she goes through, but also when people, it's a very complex character because once a lot of these women go through what they do, a lot of them might not be mentally all there.
This is such a sensitive subject, such a fine, thin line. How do you make sure that it doesn't just become a titillating topic and people take it in the right sense?
So I think that only if you've been through and you've experienced or seen these things with your own eyes and you've worked with these girls, should you even attempt to make a movie like this?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, so one, which is why we created a very authentic world. Remember that there were traffic girls who were part of the writing of the script. They were on set while we shot the movie.
Right.
They interacted
With me.
Freida, Richa, Mrunal, all of them. We have the NGOs involved. So I think that we were very sensitive because we knew what the issues were and we know who these girls are and what they've been through.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's, you know, you don't want to exploit the exploited, but you can't back away from it. You have to make sure that you want the audience to experience what these girls go through, so
Right.
you can't water it down. But at the same time, you don't need to show too much because our minds are very powerful. And if you show enough, our minds will do the rest.
Right.
I have seen many films on trafficking,
Yeah.
you know, international films, Indian films from all different parts of the world on trafficking and the global sex trade in general, but none of them have been this authentic. And I think what Tabrez says is very, very important, that unless you've actually spent enough time to fully understand this very complex world, you're kind of almost not the right person to go out there and do the film. And hats off to this man.
Great on those words. Thank you, both of us, and best of luck. More power to both of you.
Thank you.
And hope to see you more often.
Yes.